Hey everyone, welcome back to Owl Dragon Adventures. I'm Rob MacPherson, and this is my top 5 solo games of all time as of 2022. So if you're looking at the videos from last year, you know that once a year, Scott and I like to do our top list. We've already released our top 10 lists of all time, and now we're going to be releasing our top 5 solo games of all time. So as you may or may not know, Scott and I both do love our fair share of solo gaming. In fact, I'm finding more and more that I stray away from games unless they have a solo mode so that I can get them to the table more at home. So we've definitely acquired a lot of different solo titles. We enjoy doing it, and we decided we need to pare down exactly which ones catch our attention the most and keep our attention the longest. So without further ado, I guess I will start off with my top 5 solo games of all time with my number 5 pick. So my number 5 pick is going to be Warp's Edge by Renegade Game Studios, a Scott Elms game. This is part of their Solo Hero series. It has been one of my favorite solo games for a long time. It was actually one of the first solo games that I got. It's a bag building game where you are fighting off waves and waves of alien ships, and the cool mechanic about it is that after each wave, everything resets, and the theme of it is that your wormhole jumping caused you to go back in time, so you're fighting the same battles over and over again, so you've learned from your mistakes essentially. And the goal is to defeat the mothership of a single encounter. I am super excited about this. I did just get my Reckland Run Kickstarter in, which did have the Anomaly expansion for Warp's Edge, and I finally got all of my fun upgraded resin tokens for it. So I have actually not brought this to the table since I got those upgrades. I am probably going to bring it to the table right after this video, though. So very excited about that. Love to see more and more content come out for this. If you like bag build games, highly recommend Warp's Edge. So that's going to be my number 5. So moving on to my number 4. So my number 4 pick, keeping with the space theme, is going to be Welcome to the Moon by Blue Cocker Games. So this is a flip and write title where you are flipping through the deck of cards. You flip 3 cards. You pick one of them that goes over to the AI. The other 2, you get to use one of them for the number value on it and the other for the suit, I guess you would call it, on the back, the type of card. And one of the things I love about it is that there's actually 8 different puzzles that you're playing through on here. You can play it through as a campaign where you go through all of them, or you can just pick and choose each one. So this one does play up to 6 players. I have yet to play anything except for solo. I just really, really like the experience of just kind of flipping the cards, looking at them, making the decision, and moving on. There's only one of the 8 maps that I'm not a huge fan of because it's a bit of a crisis management style. But the last time I played it, I actually didn't mind it as much as I did the first time. Welcome to the Moon. It's part of the Welcome 2 series. Funny enough, I have not played any of the other in the Welcome 2 series, but the space nerd in me had to have me grab this right away, and I am so glad that I did. One of the nice features about it is dry erase, so I will have eternal use out of this one until I wear through my cards, which I'm actually doing quite quickly. So yeah, Welcome to the Moon. That's going to be my number 4 pick for solo games. Moving on to my number 3. So number 3 for me is another one from Renegade Game Studios. This is going to be Hadrian's Wall. So this one was recommended to me. It's actually funny the way it was recommended. I was told that if I enjoy spreadsheets, then I should definitely pick up Hadrian's Wall. And I do love me some good spreadsheets. The reason that it was recommended that way is because if you look at the actual play boards, they kind of look like an Excel sheet. There is a ton of different choices. It's not really worker placement. It's worker as a resource style. It's another flip and write game where you flip over your cards, and depending on what you have checked off on your mat and what card you flipped over, you'll get so many workers that you can then assign throughout it. And what's cool is that a lot of the places that you place them to will then translate them into other types of workers, or give those as a reward rather, so you can kind of synergize your way through a much longer turn than you would normally get from the get-go. I love the synergies of it. The theme is really cool. It's the Roman era Hadrian's Wall in Britain. I feel like the attacks part of it is very thematic. It feels like things are attacking the wall and you have to try to defend against them. And it's just kind of one of my meditative games. I like just kind of flipping the card and looking at it and then just kind of marking this stuff down, kind of like I did with Welcome to the Moon. But Hadrian's Wall, definitely one of my all-time favorite experiences. This does not have the dry erase. It is actually just pen and paper, but I have laminated a couple of sheets, so even when I run through the extensive amount of sheets in here, I'll still be able to play this later on. So that's going to be my number 3 pick, is Hadrian's Wall. Moving on to my number 2. So my number 2 solo game of all time is going to be Too Many Bones from Chip Theory Games. So this specifically is Undertow. This is the base game that I have. I will be picking up the original base game very shortly, and then I have Unbreakable coming hopefully in the next couple of weeks, maybe months. But so if you're unfamiliar with Too Many Bones, it is a dice building game. So you're building out your character's skill sets by adding dice to their pool. And then in the tactical combat, you actually get to roll many of those dice. And so the more skills you have, the more dice you get to roll. Hence, Too Many Bones. I love the puzzle of building your character and really synergizing which skills work well together. I do play this true solo a lot of the time, but I also really like playing this with two-handed. So I like playing with 2 different characters at the same time. And even beyond solo playing, this is one of my favorite games because I do love to play this. Scott and I do 2 characters each, so we have a 4-player game, but really it's only the 2 of us. The game scales beautifully. It plays solo really, really well. It does play solo in about 45 minutes. So it's a manageable game. It's Chip Theory. The components are gorgeous. And it's just a really fun puzzle that has yet to get old for me. And I've been playing this one for, a year and a half solo. I've got a couple of dozen plays under my belt. So Too Many Bones, that's going to be my number 2 solo game. Moving on to my number 1 pick. So my number 1 pick for solo gaming is going to be another Chip Theory Games title. It's going to be Burn Cycles. This one just came out this year, and I quickly fell in love with it. It is a tactical, stealth-based game where you are playing as one of the robot resistance, fighting back against your human overlords after you were so kind as to bring humans back from extinction, they immediately enslaved you. So you're now fighting back against that. It's got a lot of the expected tongue-in-cheek humor that Chip Theory is famous for, but the tactics are really strong in it. There's 2 different puzzles you're playing. You're doing the actual dungeon crawl, corporate crawl, but then you're also hacking into the network and getting resources that way. So the twofold puzzle makes you think about it in a different way. I just love the theme. I love the look of everything. The brass mags for me are an absolute must. I'm very excited. I have more content from this coming in the middle of 2023. So I look forward to getting this to the table even more. And I do believe, beyond solo games, I do believe you can look forward to seeing some actual play of this on the channel in the coming year. We're going to play through the rescue mode. So that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, this is going to be my top 5 solo games of all time as of 2022. So as you can see, I really like my roll and write games. I really like rolling dice, and I really like bag building. So that's kind of what leads the charge here. These games do make up a majority of what I play solo, but I also have a ton of games behind me that I play as well. But let me know in the comments what you think about my top 5 solo games. Let me know if there's any games that you think that I have missed out on that I should be playing and trying out. And let me know what your favorite solo games are. As always, please do like and subscribe if you're liking the content you see here. And thank you for joining us on our board game adventures.